when you're doing a toe-up sock, you need to have a cast on at the toe, and there are a variety of ways to do this, but the one I like best was developed or discovered or invented by Judy Becker, and it's called Judy's Magic Cast On, and I love it so much I use it for all of my toe-up socks. I think it gives a really attractive looking look to your toe. Then, once you have cast on, it's necessary to do increases for the toe, and if you notice, I've got this nice little line going up here. How I get this is by doing lifted increases on at the end of each needle, and I use a right lifted increase on the right side of the toe, and I use a left lifted increase on the left side of the toe, and it gives you this nice line. Now you can work as many stitches as you want before the increases. I work just one, and it gives this nice little line. So first of all, how to do Judy's Magic Cast On. And what you need is a double-pointed needle. You can do this with straights, and in Judy's video she shows how to do that, but no thanks. It's just a little bit too much work for me. You hold the two needles parallel, and you put a loop. Now you could do a slip knot there, but I just loop it, make a loop there, and you have your yarn, one on the forefinger, one on the thumb, and then you alternate. I wrap with my forefinger, I wrap with my thumb. So my thumb is going on the top needle, my forefinger is going on the bottom needle. And you do this until you have the number of stitches that you want. Now for this particular sock, I think it's 18, but I am not going to do all 18 stitches because it would take too long to show. And you want to make sure that you have the same number of stitches on the top and bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you can see on the bottom, what you have is something that looks like a row of reverse stockinette. Now, I have my needles going towards the left when I'm casting on, and now I turn them towards the right, and I have this loose strand right here that's not caught. So first thing I want to do is kind of hold that to the back, and here's my working yarn, and I want to pull my bottom needle, and this is why you need circular needles. I want to pull my bottom needle out, and I want to just knit those stitches. You make sure you use your working yarn, not your yarn tail. And I just work them off. And now I'm at the end here. Well, I'm going to flip my needles back towards the right. I'm going to slide this needle, the top needle, in this direction. Oops. Needed to tighten them before I started this. Now on that second row, row, the stitches are twisted on the needle from how you've put them on there. So what you want to do is, after the first one, and this yarn is a little splitty, is you want to work the stitch through the back, and that will leave it untwisted on the needle. Work it through the back. Now if my video isn't clear enough for you and I don't go into enough detail, go to just Google Judy Becker's Magic Cast On, and you will see tons of videos on this subject. Alright, so that's how my first row goes. Now I'm ready to start doing my increases. Now as I said, I like to, make sure I've got my working yarn here, not my yarn tail. I like to use a lifted increase. And first step is to pull that needle out of the way, the needle I'm knitting onto, and I knit the first stitch. Now I could knit the second stitch as well, just however you want to do it. Now to do a lifted increase, what you do is you get the leg of the stitch below, this is the right lifted increase, below the stitch on the needle. and you knit into it. Okay, so I knit into it, knit the next stitch, knit, 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 and now I've got one stitch left on the needle. Now when you're doing this on the left, let's go back. The loop on the stitch below the needle is this guy, but in order to get to that I need to knit this stitch first. And what that's going to do is it's going to be not that one, because that's the stitch I just knit. It's this guy down here. I put that on my needle and just knit into it, and there we go. Now the thing about, now I need to do the same thing on the other side of the toe. The thing about lifted increases is you cannot use them on every row. If you do, you're going to get this puckered mess. You need to work a plain row between them, and that's going to give you that nice clean little line that you saw on my sock. I knit, I find the loop, knit into it, and then up to 2 stitches. Okay, there's the stitch. I need to knit it first if I want a left slanting. Go down here, find that loop, and then knit. And that's how you start your toe.